Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the YouTube channel where we give the most accurate list of the best and even the worst movies and TV shows, etc. Today we'll talk about the top 10 Black 90s TV shows. Be advised, we're starting from 10 being the least interested to viewers and 1 being the most enjoyed. Number 10, Thea. Thea was a great concept for a TV show. It was almost like the 90s version of What's Happening. Single black mother, hard worker. The only problem is it ran for 1 season. It was said to have been differences between Thea Vidali, who played the mother Thea in the show, and Brandy. However, this wasn't mentioned until years later. All right, number 9. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Mark Curry, who played Mr. Cooper, had a decent supporting cast. Omar Gooden, Holly Robinson Pete, just to name a few. The narrative was different from other TV show competitors. Other black TV shows had the typical family structure that would confine the storyline to family-related issues. This show had a different setup. In the show, Mr. Cooper is a teacher whose narrative encompasses doing life with friends and students. That's a different take relating to the sitcom storylines. Some people feel as though the show started off pretty good but took a turn for the worse after Raven Simone joined. Alright, number 8, Malcolm and Eddie. Overall, the show was somewhat mediocre. Before you disagree, here is why. Yes, the show has some good things about it. Great cast. Alright, we're talking about the gorgeous Angel Brooks, the gorgeous Karen Molina White, the hilarious Eddie Griffin, and the talented and well-known Malcolm Jamal Warner. However, there were some notable annoyances about the show. For starters, the lack of originality. It had a familiar script of other sitcoms. The same narrative of other roommates living together already been done with Friends and Living Single. Secondly, there wasn't any character development or refreshing storyline enhancements. A lot of times, sitcoms last longer because of an induction of a new character or storyline development regarding an existing character. That's just 2 examples. I mean, should I give another? All right, let me give you one more. It wasn't received like the other black sitcoms that were running during that time. There was Living Single, Martin, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Though the viewers deemed the show to be highly tolerable, it was not placed in the top tier for being highly viewed. Number 7, In the House. You gotta give the show credit for having an out-of-the-box approach to a storyline. The character Marion, which was played by the well-renowned rapper LL Cool J, was a former professional football player who turned to high school coaching. His supporting cast were great. You had Kim Waynes, Maya Campbell, Debbie Allen, just to name a few. The relationships in the show seemed to be very genuine. The chemistry between Marion and his mentee Tiffany was great. They laughed and shared special moments, but none of them were cringing. Tiffany's character was portrayed to be a mature high school girl that faced most of the issues that girls of her age demographic faced. The dope thing about it is, Marion was a very trustworthy mentor who never crossed the boundaries. For television, that was a great example that integral black men exist. Coming in at number 6, Sister Sister. Let's talk about the good things about this show first. There were not any TV shows in black history that had a storyline with twin sisters catering to not only the younger demographic of African Americans, but also relatable to the struggles that young girls are faced with. Puberty, liking boys, teenage rebellion, etc. Although there were great things, there were certain annoyances. The parents of Tia and Tamara were sometimes annoying as heck. They were at times strict and rigid unnecessarily. The show had a confinement to only teens and preteens, which caused adult viewers to not have an interest. Number 5, Moesha. This show was similar to Sister Sister in the essence of having targeted viewers of teens and preteens. However, the show's reach was longer than Sister Sister. Moesha had adult viewers as well. The storyline was mature. The fact that Brandy, the iconic R&B artist, had a major role in the land of sitcom was dope. The supporting cast was great, but here comes the cons to the show. The show started to get real heavy on the content relating to family issues. Darian's character, which was played by Ray J, was the most irritating character on the show. He just would not listen. Watching his rebellious role and stubbornness towards making right choices was sometimes unbearable. It pushed the limits and put in harsh reality in sitcoms. To top it off, the news of Darian being Frank's son was not that great of a plot twist. It was more like a rot twist. I mean, it literally left a distaste for all the viewers. It just started to get way too soap opera-ish. Falling in at number 4, Wayans Brothers. Great show, great cast, and a great family bond between the father and the sons. John Witherspoon, out of all the family structured sitcoms that had a father role, was the funniest. His humor, accompanied with the humor of the Wayans brothers, really enhanced the show. Not to mention the buffering of goofiness and silliness that Anna Maria Horsford brought to the show. She was the one that kept the balance of seriousness and emotion in the narrative mix. Alright, number 3, Living Single. Where can I begin? Just the theme music alone puts this show in 3rd place. The cast is one of the best casts ever as it relates to single people. Keep in mind, this show did not have the traditional family structure. It was comprised of beautiful black people who was literally living single. Well, except for Overton and Claire. This is one of those TV shows that when you think about it now, man, you can't help but to get that 90s nostalgic feeling. I encourage you to just go back and listen to the theme music alone, for real. Alright, number 2, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The rapper / actor showed his ability to take the lead as well as complement the supporting cast. Well, except for the first auntie, Vivian. With that exception, the show kept you hooked with laughter. However, it addressed social norms such as prejudice and racism, the lack of a father presence, the importance of family, and self-development. It embraced hip-hop culture. The chemistry and dramatization was so good, it was hard not to believe that they were actors. Alright, standing at that number 1 slot. Can you guess which show it is? I'll give you a minute. Alright, you taking too long. We just gonna throw it out there. Martin. I don't know where to begin, from the talented cast and chemistry to the character development and trueness to black culture relevance. It was a show that also had great guest appearance. The interesting thing about this show is that although it addressed the most common issues, it was always done with an abundance of comedy. In other words, you couldn't help but to laugh even if there were moments that were made to be serious. I don't think there were any overly serious moments that couldn't be redeemed with laughter. I want to end with expressing this, alright? In the 90s, it was very hard for black shows to gain traction and keep it because it was so competitive. There were so many black shows that flooded the 90s that it was hard for relevancy. I mean, there were so many black shows having similar storylines that the moment a show made the wrong writing mistake, it caused the viewers to lose interest. It was almost like the lower tier shows struggled to keep the attention of the viewers. On the flip side of things, there were so many controversies and prejudices that we haven't even heard about until years later. A lot of these TV shows had their legs cut from beneath them before they could reach their full potential. So, I want to take the time to honor the shows that weren't mentioned. Girlfriends, Rock, The Wire, although The Wire wouldn't necessarily be considered a sitcom, so we'll take that out. If you have any shows that I didn't mention and you want to put it in the comments, if you kind of want to rearrange the list, by all means, take a stab at it. And obviously, if you find this content useful and would like more of it, like and subscribe. God bless.